Welcome back to another episode of Hot Ones with the Sub Board of Directors. I'm your host, as always, the Outreach Chair, Balin Tucker, and today I have with me Garrett, our Vice President. So, before we get started, go ahead and introduce yourself, your name, your major, and what you do with us.
My name is Garrett Lange. I'm a metallurgical engineer. I'm now in my fifth year here, and I'm currently the vice president of the Student Union Board.
All right, you ready to get into it?
Yeah.
All right, here's number one. It's our garlic habanero sauce, right there. Let's go. So, I guess go ahead and start by telling me how you first joined Sub. You're one of our longer running members here. So tell me how you first joined.
This is going to be bad. Yeah, so I first joined, technically I joined Sub my sophomore year as a light and sound tech, back before they split with Leach. Um, So I worked on, setting up light and sound equipment for 2 years. And then I got to know Devin Shermonti, the concerts chair at the time, and um, really learned more about his position, and it interested me. So I joined the board of directors as a programming chair. And then I did that for a year, my senior year. And then now here I am as the vice president.
Okay. So, I guess what was it like being a light and sound tech at first?
I enjoyed it. Throughout high school, I did a lot of percussion, and so I did a lot with moving all the equipment and setting it up and taking it down, and I enjoyed doing that a lot. And so that's kind of why I joined Light and Sound initially. It was different types of equipment, but it was still that same baseline of bringing all the equipment, setting it up, tearing it down, and so it reminded me of that. So I enjoyed it.
All right, we'll go ahead and get into number two here. Just karma sauce, lift off. There we go.
That one's better.
Yeah, honestly, the garlic one, too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little too much. So, I guess tell me about what it was like stepping on from light and sound to becoming a programming chair.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of a jump, just because as a light and sound tech, I didn't really know much about Sub itself. I was just kind of a worker there. And then as I joined the board and working for the programming chair, it was a very different side of things, seeing how all the events are planned, which I honestly think I enjoy more. Is just that start to finish, how do things come together, as opposed to just the day of assembly.
Okay. Well, with that, do you remember like some of the events that were kind of like this is why I wanted to join. This was kind of what drew me.
Yeah, it was definitely anything musical. It was the St. Pat's concert, of course. That's my favorite event. A lot to work on there, but also like Greek parties. Those were kind of my go-to things. There is the Pat's concert and Greek parties.
All right. We're going to get into number three here. This is our pickled garlic sriracha. All right, let's go. So you spent a year as a programming chair, right?
Mm-hmm.
How was that? What kind of events did you program? Maybe what was your first event, and what was your last one before you stepped into the vice president role?
Yeah, so I tended to plan more larger scale events. Um, the first event I planned was Rallapalooza, which was last year, and it was a lot of fun to plan and go through all that. I worked primarily with like the contracting of the headliner band. It didn't quite go to plan the day of the concert. We had a spring up rainstorm, so everything had to get moved last second. But that's kind of the theme of most of the events I planned throughout my programming chair year. I did two other comedians, both had accidents or injuries or other things that prevented them from coming to the concert the day before. So, um, unfortunately, a lot of my events during my program and chair time did not go well and took a lot of planning and still didn't do. So, I don't know. But it was still fun. I still enjoyed doing it. And even when things went wrong, it was fun to plan the whole process.
All right. We'll go ahead and get into number 4 here. Now, this one is probably my favorite. The heat level on this one is almost just silly, whatever that means. Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
Very line.
Mm-hmm.
So, how was that transition from programming chair to vice president? How did you find yourself wanting to step into that role and running for it? We're not even at the hot ones yet, guys.
Can you repeat that?
How did you find yourself stepping from the programming chair to the vice president role? How did you find yourself interested and kind of on that pathway?
Yeah. The initial interest kind of just came from lack of people on the board. Oh, oh man. There weren't that many people around and people with experience to be able to step into that vice president role. So, and also I was frustrated with all of my events going horribly wrong. So I was ready to step out of that programming position, but oh man. But yeah, that kind of answers it.
Okay, yeah, that kind of does answer it. I'll give you a second, and then we're going to move on to number 5. And I'll have a little bit more in-depth question, maybe.
Okay.
So number 5 is our Rojo sauce. Now we're stepping into the heat territory. So I guess for people who would be interested in maybe stepping into one of these roles in the future, you know, we've talked about bringing concerts back as like its own position, and really focusing on it, having one person be their job. For someone that could be interested in that, could you like tell me a little bit about what that process is and how that looks?
Yeah. So the concert planning process itself takes a lot of time. You usually have to start planning these larger scale concerts at least a semester in advance, just because it takes a lot of work and things can go wrong and you need time to be able to fix them. The Pats concert specifically, when we have multiple artists that we need to contract, it takes time for each contract to go through our campus to get through all that. But then you go through the process of making sure you have the venue picked out, that it fits for your date, that you have everything, all your ducks in a row. You got to get people to staff it. You got to get the artists on board. You got to get rooms for the artists. You got to get the stage. And so there's a lot of different things and different aspects that go into planning a concert that you don't kind of really think about when you're just watching it. But it just takes time. And
And what's it like working with the artists themselves?
Working with the artists is my favorite part. I mean, usually the artists are very easygoing. Sometimes not as much. Sometimes they just want their space and want to get in, do their show, and get out. But just that opportunity to actually get to talk to some of these artists on a personal level is just my favorite part about it. It's like some of these bands I listen to and I'm bringing them to the campus, and then I get to talk with them myself and hang out with them, and it's just a great feeling.
All right. We're going to go ahead and move on to number 6, our volcano sauce here. Oh, fire-breathing cat.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. There we go. So tell me a little bit about what you do outside of Sub. Other organizations you're part of, some of the work you've done, anything like that.
Mm-hmm. my primary involvement outside of sub is my fraternity, Beta Sigma Psi. Throughout my now 4.5 years at Beta Sig, I've had a number of different positions. I was assistant house manager, which eventually led up to the house manager itself. I was the risk manager. I was the secretary. And now I'm technically currently the locksmith. And so, I've had a lot of involvement there, a lot of work, some of it stressful over time. On Christmas Eve when I was house manager, a pipe burst. And so that was a lot of work to get all that and deal with all the repairs. But that's definitely my primary involvement outside of sub. I'm also in Order of Omega and AFS, the American Foundry Society. So.
And you have one more semester here, right?
Yeah.
What are you planning to kind of spend that last semester doing?
Nothing really. I'm enjoying kind of easing off of some of my responsibilities. I mean, I'll still be the vice president of sub. I plan to not have to do anything in Beta Sig at that point. Just kind of easing off and not being as involved in my last semester.
All right, we'll go ahead and get into number 8 here. This is the bomb. One of my favorite looking bottles, at least. Like, it's so menacing.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Yeah. Wait, that is not number 8. That's number 8.
Well, you put them in the wrong order.
I didn't.
Yeah, you did. This was definitely right here.
You just can't count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did we skip 7?
No. Oh, maybe we did. Hey, we did skip 7. We actually got to go ahead and get to 7 first.
Okay.
Hey, so we've got the hot house here. Getting ahead of ourselves. Too excited.
That was bad.
So Garrett and I are actually in the same class at Beta Sig. We joined at the same time. And he's also a big reason why I joined sub itself as the outreach director. So that's been kind of a big part of why I'm here as well. We kind of created the position to see what we could do to expand sub's reach around campus. Mm-hmm. So I guess what I would also ask you is, do you think there's more room to grow sub with new positions, for people who maybe don't fit into the programming roles or the planning roles, but have other skills?
Yeah, I think for sure. It's, we're definitely flexible, and, we see a skill set, we use it, is kind of my mentality. That's why I encouraged us creating this position to bring you on the board, because I saw a need, fill a need. I saw, we were lacking in members, and we had a good, I'm going to call you a tool here to be used.
I am a tool.
To help.
I am a tool. That is true.
To help bring more attention to sub and bring people in. So, yeah.
We got a couple more to go.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, man.
So let's go ahead and get right into number 8. All right, we'll go ahead and get into number 8 here. This is the bomb. One of my favorite looking bottles, at least. Like, it's so menacing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
All right. Yeah, that one's pretty much instant. That one's like hot right away. The other ones have like a second. That one does not. Mm-hmm. You're on fire immediately. Yeah, we're going to need some production help. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that one.
So you're graduating soon.
Yep.
What comes next?
Work. I'm gonna be working full time. Still currently looking at positions, full-time positions. I recently finished a co-op with Mercury Marine up in Wisconsin, which I may have an opportunity to come back to them. So that'd be cool. But I'm still looking around and looking at different positions full-time, but Wisconsin was nice. I might.
All right. Got one more before our last one. Number 9, the Sicilian Scorpion right here. Take a second.
Why'd you make me do this, man?
Here we go. So in a few of our other interviews, I've kind of flipped the script a little bit to see if the person I'm talking to has any questions for me. So do you? Anything you'd like to ask me?
Have you enjoyed your time working with Sub?
I have. It's been one of the most rewarding things I think I've done here in school. I'm on my 9th semester. I co-opted as well, and I've really enjoyed what I've done here over the last couple semesters. Getting to meet people, kind of seeing a different aspect of campus than I'm used to. I was also very involved with Beta Sig. I'm president of the Lutheran Student Fellowship, and I do some work here on campus. But this is like a different environment, and I've liked it a lot because of that. The people here are great. I felt like very welcomed and respected right off the bat, and like I fit in right away.
Yeah.
All right. So for our last question, we're going to put a little bit of the last dab here.
Man.
And the question is, what would you say the mission statement and goal of Sub is? Now, big question, obviously. I want you to think about it for a moment, and kind of consider your answer. Then take a bite, and then answer.
Yeah. Sort them out.
Yeah, this last one is a little thick. It's all the heat. A little bit more than that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, man.
As always, the last dab. There you go. Thought about your answer a little bit?
No.
Well, take a second to think while you're chewing. Cheers.
Okay. Yeah, I would say the mission statement of Sub, as other people have probably mentioned by now, is definitely being able to bring free events and things for people to come and enjoy on campus. But my personal my personal feelings are that it's also a way to promote unity in campus. It's a way to we work with so many other organizations through our work. So I think it's a way to kind of promote that interorganizational unity, and just to remind everyone that all the events and things that we do on this campus are for the students, and they're for people to enjoy. And so that's kind of, I feel, the root of what Sub does.
All right. Any last comments before we close out?
I hate you.
All right. Well, I've been your host, as always, Balin Tucker, the Outreach Director for the Student Union Board, here with our Vice President, Garrett Legge. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one.